1, 2, lift. The podcast!
Hey guys, here we are. It's me, Cass, as
and
you know.
Luke. 1, 2, lift.
This one's super exciting. We are doing the first, podcast of Luke's section, which I'm so excited about. And this is Luke in the hot seat for our section.
Okay.
So here we go. Luke, what is the name of, the podcast that you want to do and do sort of individually?
Yeah, so it's just wait till you're 40. And
Just wait till you're 40. I love it.
yeah, and it comes from a bit of an anecdote that I will share when it's time. Do you have more to say before I share my anecdote?
Not yet.
Okay.
Don't share it yet. So this is exciting. I think this is going to help a lot of people, not only people in their 40s, but in their 50s, 60s, because this can relate to absolutely any age, I think, in the end.
I think so.
And give you guys an idea of the 40s. And more than that, you have lots of people to interview, people that you've met. So here's the first question. Give me the anecdote.
Okay. That's more of a demand, which is not even framed as a question. But so this is where this comes from. So I was literally my first week in practice, 26 years old, driving to a little town called Dashwood, Ontario, Canada. And it doesn't even, it does have a stop sign, but there's no crossroads stop sign. It's straight on through on the highway. And I think I started on a Monday that week. This happened on Tuesday or Wednesday, like first few days in practice. And this gentleman came in, and he was a farmer, but then also trying to be maybe triathlete-y or something. So this fella, I don't know exactly how old he was, but let's say around 50. And I was asking questions. He had pain in a bunch of different areas, as one would when coming to see a young chiropractor. And he's telling me his story, and I was like, man, that's a lot of stuff going on. And he looked at me, and I was 26. He looked at me with sort of...
You're only 26, so this would have been when you first...
Like, literally, I'm telling you, my third day ever practicing with a license.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And he looked at me with a mix of, like, disdain and satisfaction when he said, just wait till you're 40. And it was basically intended to tell me to shut the F up and just go about my business. And I did that. And he actually ended up being a long-term patient. He was a lovely guy. But that was the first of, I can't even tell you how many times I heard through 20-odd years in practice, just wait till you're 40.
Me too.
I was going to say, you must have had the same experience hearing the same type of stuff, yeah?
Definitely. But from men and women.
Yeah.
And parents and cousins. Like cousins, all my cousins were 10 years to 15, 16 years older than me.
Right.
So I think everyone can relate to this, but when it hits, it's like, just wait till you're 40. And even the movie, This Is 40, is hilarious. But
I was thinking about calling it that, and I was like, oh, right. That's why it sounds cool, because it's a movie.
I still like it, though.
Yeah. So it may change. Let's see.
Let's see. That's how we roll. Okay, so I love this, and this sentence obviously stuck with you for a really long time.
It sure did.
Can I say one thing? When you turned 40, it was a big thing.
Okay.
So Was
it a big thing for you because you're younger than I am?
No. This just came to me actually right now.
Okay.
Because I didn't realize that was how you got the name of the podcast.
Oh, okay.
Maybe when you told me, I was just like in and out of work or something.
Yeah. Or when we said it on that podcast the other day.
Yeah. But the thing is, I know this just looped to me right now, but leading into your 40 was a big deal for you. And it was about weight and health, and it was beautiful, and you nailed it. Like, you got to your goals, but not your goals now. My gosh, you've grown so much. But it's funny. I can remember your 40th leading up was kind of stressful for me in the kitchen and as a wife, but you know.
I know, it's totally true. I did want to cross the barrier there at a certain weight, and I wanted to have. I think I have like a goal for a 10K time or something. I don't remember.
You did, and
Yeah.
you actually nailed a lot of them.
Yeah.
And it was a diet, like also just healthy. Anyways,
But no, because it was a thing for me too, and I think clearly teed up by.
just wait till you're 40.
Yeah,
guy.
exactly. 14 years of people telling me that. The I guess the
Plus, you're 6 years older than me.
true. So you were a whippersnapper when I was turning 40. Plus, we had a 8-month-old,
Yeah, it would have been
and you were pregnant.
Smith. Yeah, and I was pregnant again. Yeah,
So I was already making some changes at that point in time. I was already
you looked incredible.
shifting some perspectives, but what I think is, I was reflecting on this obviously as I was thinking about the idea of doing this podcast, and I know that it's something that I've chatted about with lots of people, a lot of men in particular. I'm going to stay fairly focused on men through the podcast.
Yeah.
And I think that fear, often subconsciously, is at the root of the friction that is 40. And I guess I'm in two minds about it. It is either fear that you're going to hit this milestone, because you can't stop that clock, right? It's going to keep rolling. But you may not have achieved the things that you had hoped to achieve. And I used to put myself back into the position of being in grade 13. And I was looking at this guy. I remember he pulled up in like a Jeep Wrangler, and he just looked like super, super cool. And I asked somebody, I was like, how old do you think that guy is? He's like, I don't know. He's old. He's like 40. And I was like, yeah, but he's like killing it, no? Like, I remember this one scene in my head. And I think that whether it's in life, whether it's in business, whether it's family,
It's a big thing.
personal health, finance, there are so many areas that I think for a lot of guys, we put this forward projection and go, at 40, I'm going to have my shit figured out.
Do you think that is society though too? Because I know for in general, at age 40, if you're having a child, you know, people double look it.
For sure.
If you're starting a new career, people second look at you, because I think in society, you know, there's a retirement age. There's, you know, at 40, you're right, you should have your dream home, all this stuff. That, I think, is what you're saying also is like this pressure. What do you think about that?
No, I think it's 100% that. It's pressure from without that you develop a pressure within. And the idea of feeling like, I just haven't quite made it yet, I think that's one half of the equation.
Yeah, because I have to interrupt because this is me interviewing you today.
Yeah.
Tell me how, I think, give everyone an insight in how much your life had also changed. Because yes, at 40, if you didn't choose a route that you did, maybe stuff would have looked different. But how you felt at the time and how you felt changing your life path, I think altered your entire 40s. I mean, you're 46 right now and you look like a different person. So I think you were one of the lucky ones that made a big decision at a crucial age to totally change yourself. I think it's a good time to explain that.
Yeah, so that story can be very long or
I think
partially long.
just say like what you followed, and it was scary and it took a bit to decide, but I think just be quick with it. Like,
yeah. So, only child, single mom. She passed away when I was 19. And in that scenario, the expectation is that certainly I'm going to crumble and fall apart. And I have a lot of stank in me and decided that, no, I'm going to do everything but that. I was in second year university, I think. And so I just decided I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to just fucking do everything that is right, quote unquote, and push forward with my head down to achieve whatever right looked like.
you tend to put, one thing I know about you, Luke, and I think this is good for everyone to know, when Luke has a goal or something in mind, he 100% always completes it. That's why before 40, you know, you had 1 pound to lose, man, and you made sure you got it done like the day before. There's something about this guy. He's done Ironman. He's done every type of race under a time. He will not get it done. But something changed within him, I think during this time, and I'm so proud of you, but like you still want to get things done, but you've learned to enjoy this time of life. But
Yeah,
so
I've definitely
explain
changed.
this big decision you made, like following something within you that this brain of his, maybe, I don't know.
where you're pathing me forward to necessarily.
I think having children was a big thing at our ages, even for me. Like in my 30s, you go to the doctor and they're, I was 34, 35, and you're maybe a little risk or whatever they say.
Yeah, what did the geriatric pregnancy?
Yeah, something like that.
When he
But I
told
was
you
like,
that,
I was like, I feel 16. I still get my
35.
period, like
35 geriatric
But then,
pregnancy.
I think like we followed a path that we chose our hearts, because it was easy to get pregnant, but I mean,
Easy for you.
Luke had
I had to get my junk put
the
back together.
reversal, and we were starting our lives together. So I think that was a following your heart, and I think that totally transitioned your 40s. And
How old was I when that happened? When I put my nuts back together?
Well, Smith was born in.
19.
You were 39, right?
When Smith was born?
Yeah.
Yeah. So then 38 when I put my nuts back together?
Yeah.
So that's right. So at 38 years old, decided to have a vasectomy reversal because I wanted, with every piece of my soul, to have children with you. And that was actually a bit of a procedure, just so you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's straightforward.
It's
But it worked.
It's
It
microsurgery.
worked.
Anyway, it was fantastic. And so
We have so much in our story, my God.
because then immediately got pregnant and our beautiful little boy Smith was born.
And at 40, you had Ren.
That's right. The next year Ren was born. So I think on my 40th birthday, you were then like 5 months pregnant.
Yeah, October. So we took Smith to Cleveland. He
That's
popped
it.
his first tooth. We're pregnant. You still made me run all. No, I'm just kidding.
That's the only trip I haven't made you run all over the place.
We did walk a lot though with
We did
Smith
walk a
in the buggy, but yeah.
So 40 was, so there's this
But
thing.
we were like having babies, and
Yeah, we were doing something sort of different. So we'd already made lots of big changes in life, and I think that at 40 specifically, my perspective hadn't all the way changed.
No.
But we decided to move from Canada to Spain when I was then 41. Correct?
Yeah, because Ren, maybe even. Yeah, so basically
we
when
decided
Ren was
when I was
born.
40, yeah. So
When Ren was born, yeah.
and then the application for a visa and all these things. So the reality is that obviously was enough of an inflection point to then for us to decide to make some moves. And it certainly wasn't my 40th that was the decision-making criteria for that, but all these things started to come together. We are people who embrace change, and to do so invite chaos into our lives.
And I think where I was getting with my question was actually our decisions for us, but also as individuals, and you as a 40-year-old confident man, to sell your business, give up your doctorate, move to Spain. You were following your heart.
Absolutely.
And I think that was the difference in your entire life, right?
Absolutely.
And that strength, now I realize, like with me, I'm 41, the strength that I'm gaining, I swear it's like you hit 40. Well, we can thank a lot to Spain, but also there's a strength
Yeah.
that comes, but then can get diminished by society and aging.
Absolutely. I think that goes, this is a perfect opportunity to go back to I think there are two frictions.
Yes, that's what you were
I
going
think
at.
the one
Love it.
is you haven't necessarily achieved everything you want. And so you feel like, oh, when am I going to do it? Because you're roughly halfway through your working career at that point, right?
And people are stuck in the shit.
You're stuck in the shit.
With the age, no, if their mind tells them that.
Right.
Go on, babe.
And so the second type of person is the person who has hit it out of the park in a number of areas, right? So their career is banging. They have 2.5 kids, 1.5 dogs, a white picket fence in this big house in the suburbs.
Promoted.
That's right. They're, next in line for vice president. They're doing all
But
the
that's
things.
amazing.
They're playing squash twice a week, and they
But maybe not. They
Run
could
on the-
also be super overweight and
Well, hold on. Let me stick with
Okay,
this because
okay,
the
okay.
theme is that they have hit all the things on paper, but they're still not happy.
there it is.
And so that person struggles on the other side of the coin, but it's a similar feeling where it is on paper, I have hit all my goals and my targets, but something in here in my heart still is not where I thought I'd be at 40. And I think that both of those types of people have the same problem. They're trapped on different ends of the spectrum, maybe, but they have the same problem, which is they are not satisfied with the goals being either achieved or unachieved. It's not feeling whole and complete inside of them.
So true.
And so what I think is that, I mean, here's the fun part. We've all seen a movie, we've all seen a TV show, we've all heard about the male midlife crisis.
And our
Right?
parents' 40th birthday, like it was a big deal.
It was a big deal, and I feel like it's slightly less of a deal in society these days, but it isn't, because the feeling is still the
It's
same.
still the 40th.
And the classic midlife crisis where the, guy number 2 goes out and buys a red Porsche and, starts getting a new group of friends that he goes out drinking with on a Tuesday. And then eventually
Trying
the
to be
Porsche is
20.
wrapped around a telephone pole and he's miserable and he has to reevaluate. Dark night of the soul. And guy number 1 either slowly fades and retreats into a hole, is super depressed, or he takes that as an opportunity to reevaluate and rise up. I think both types of people have the opportunity to change perspectives.
So do I, and I think we'll get into this really quickly here, what moving to Spain has showed us, all the types of people, but I will say on the majority in regular cities, hometown cities, in the Americas, northern Spain, everywhere where, you work, you retire. I think 40 is a confusing time because you do gain confidence and wisdom, but then you're kind of hanging in with what you've worked for the rest of your life.
Yeah, there's that term too, like the golden handcuffs, right?
And it's
Where
hard.
you've got the job and the things and the whatever, but you've got to pay the mortgage and you've got to pay the
Your
car
kids are in
lease
sports.
and if you just hang in another 20 years, you're going to get that amazing pension or so pension, but there's already a sunk cost fallacy happening here where you go, well, I already worked 15 years there, so I might as well finish it out the next 15 years so I can get the pension.
And waiting to retire to travel. And
That's it. And so golden handcuffs, sunk cost fallacy, there's a bunch of ideas here that you can start to see are things that need to be evaluated and unpacked depending on your situation. And I think that they're all a perception
of course.
that,
right.
again, is maybe worth reconsidering and adjusting.
For people, the majority of people, and especially since we lived here, this is really an outlier, this area of the world, because again, you get all the types, but for the majority of the world, what does 40 look like health-wise, body type-wise, lifestyle?
I'll tell you what, when we had this obviously our beautiful home that we just renovated when I was that age, and you can attest to this. At the pool in the summer, my evaluation metric was to see if I had a better dad bod than the rest of the guys at the pool. I was comfortable with the dad bod I had developed, but I just wanted to have a better dad bod than the other guys because it was a sea of dad bods.
So I need to say what you just said, even dad bod. I hate that little term now because you're right. And everyone accepts each other's dad bod. And this isn't judgmental. This is truly just letting yourself go in all the ways.
Yeah.
Even mentally. And what happens to people's mindsets through that?
I think once you slide in one place, it's easier to slide in another. And so, it's difficult to have all ducks in a row. I mean, there's so many things that go on. And the media really puts a lot in front of us these days. It's always kind of beat up women, but I feel like it's beating up men now in the same way, in the idea that, boy, your sleep has to be on point. You better be getting your 6 to 8 hours of
People
two of
start
it
going
has
to
to
the
be
doctor
deep
more.
sleep, and you better check your aura ring, or you need to then be getting these 90 minutes of exercise a week, but it better be high intensity interval work because
Yeah.
the slow stuff isn't
So
working
then
as
what
well.
what happens to their mindset, babe? Like in all ways, as a husband, as a father, as a friend, as a person, as a person.
Well, there's another perfect example, because as a husband and a father, now men have a significantly higher bar for participation than it would have been 50 years ago.
Yeah.
Guys have to be changing diapers, and you're making the dinners because your wife is busy, and everybody's working, and you better be a hands-on dad who's not only going to practice, but you're also then doing the homework, and you're making sure lunches are ready, and you're doing some laundry because it's a split. Everything needs to share. There are the number of things going into. There's an amazing meme thing that I sent you, or a reel. There's something, but it's this guy sitting in the car, and the wife says, "Is everything okay?" And he's like, and it's this zoom, 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 zoom of all the things going through his head.
Yeah.
And those pressures that are mounting, that have always been on women, are now
And dads comparing each other.
falling into the realm for guys. And guys have always compared each other about maybe what car they drive, or what position they have at work, or whether they've been promoted. But now they're starting to compare
In the house.
on these other metrics as well.
Like,
and
oh, you don't change your baby's diaper? What?
yeah,
But also, I
the
think
pressure
like
is broad now.
everyone is so busy. So all of that combined, like you stop seeing your friends. You see each other for the 40th birthdays, or you see each other for, the Super Bowl, or, a big game, or having a few pints on a Sunday. But I think there's no outlet, or you look at yourself in the mirror, you feel young still. At
Yeah.
40, you feel more wise. But your confidence, when you're looking at yourself and you're so busy and there's pressures, and now, yeah, you're doing okay. You do have the house maybe, or maybe you're working towards it, but you know it's coming. But I think something happens, like, what the heck? You burn out.
For sure. And that burnout, then, you've got the options. Like I said, you've got the red Porsche, or you've got the slow decline toward depression. And, you make a fair point. We talked about this, that there are two peaks for suicide rates, particularly in men. And it's late teens, and it is 40 to 50 bracket. And it's an extremely moving stat. And that we've experienced similar losses in people that were patient-based.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things that I think once we start to tease away the layers of the pressure that people are experiencing, that men are experiencing, I think we can, again, maybe shift the perspective and have eyes a little more clear on some of the issues.
And I love that, babe. And I think, like, what you said to me, too, is no matter what the status, no matter what type of guy you are in this age bracket, I guarantee everyone is going through similar feelings, because also typically you're in the age where, if you have kids, university's coming up. So savings and expenses, like, things start to get more expensive, but you have to do the trip with your family. You have to do family time. I think no matter what type, Luke just vape.
The wind took it right across the thing.
No matter what type of lifestyle you have, even the ones who made it, like you said, they have it all. They're starting to think like, well, I got to keep this going, and like, is this what I work for? And the ones who are still working for it and have really busy, normal lives, even the ones, I don't know, like, there's not enough men, like, guys don't just sit there and say like, hey man, you look good. Are you working out? Like, when you don't compliment each other, you're actually looking at the person like, what are you doing, running so much? Like, I don't know. I've seen it.
We've definitely seen it. And if somebody is rising,
why are you dieting? Don't you want a burger with us? And it's like, actually, no, man.
Yeah, there is there's pressure from the bottom. There's sort of a race to mediocrity on a number of variables.
It just needs to be normalized.
And I think that moving here, so we moved to the Costa del Sol, and one of the big perspective shifts that I had right away when we moved here is, I can say for sure that at 30, if I saw a 50-year-old dude, shaved chest, super, super fit, or even kind of jacked even, and I would look at that guy and go, he's probably on testosterone, and fuck, what a douche, right?
Well,
because it's a race to mediocrity. I would have felt insecure about that. When we moved here at 41 years old, this place is stuffed full of men that are 30, 40, 50, 60, even a couple of 70-year-olds
70s.
that are
Even 80.
in
Look at our neighbors.
fantastic shape. And I remember both of them. I mean, you know, there's a lot of people from all over the world. This is one of those places. But I remember saying to you, we weren't here that long, and I was like, babe, there's a lot of jack dudes here. And I don't understand why I don't see any dad bods anywhere.
Ever. But this area of the world has taught us so much about starting life over again. Like, people aren't looking at age as a thing.
Yeah, it draws a different set of people in many ways, right? Because there's a lot of international expatriates
Yeah.
here, right? And they are by and large, it's a group of people who are
But
the types that are making change.
and
taking
this
leaps.
is why I believe in this podcast so much, because I can't wait for Luke to get some of these men on here and the lives that they had versus now. And if they could tell that 40-year-old version of themselves, like, you can start over, and like, youth is in your mind, and like, why do we have to shut down? I just am so excited because it's been so inspirational.
Yeah.
And you've been inspirational to so many people. We've had visitors like, holy crap, you look better now than you ever did.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's all part of maybe a perspective shift, because I
But why
look
do
at
we have
those
to die and
guys-
retire?
Yeah, there's no need for any of
Proud
that
of
crap.
you.
I looked at those guys on the beach, and my perspective at 41 was, it doesn't matter what they're taking. It's a lot of work consistently over time to build that much meat on your bones. And the consistency of that is the part that I found so impressive. And so you remember, like,
And
it was like last summer, we were at a beach. I think we were up the Tarifa coast, and there was a guy, he's in the water, and I was like, that guy is in fantastic shape. I think he looked like maybe he was in his right around 50. So I walked in, I stood beside
and
him, and I was
not
like,
like weathered, like
No,
he's
he
been
just-
taking a lot, just like perfectly,
he just looked like, he looked
like the
sharp.
right type of fit.
And I walked up beside him in the waves, in the water, and I was like, hey man, you look fantastic. Do you mind if I ask how old you are? And he said to me he was 59 years old. And I was like, bro,
Well
good
done.
on ya.
Yeah, you
And
guys hugged even.
So then he looked at me, he goes, well, how old are you? And I told him, 45 or whatever. And he's like, yeah, you're doing great. And I actually chatted with him for a bit in the water. And,
Yeah.
we had a bro hug and went on our way. But that me didn't exist when I was 30.
No, we've totally changed.
And it's one of a million ways that a perspective shift can change the way you operate in the world. And
Your mind too.
we wanted to keep this version of this podcast quite short, but you said already that the plan is I want to interview a lot of guys. I mean, I've met so many interesting people. I want
think
to.
even guys entering 40.
So that's what I was just about to say. I
Yeah.
think it's really interesting to pull on some guys that are coming up on 40 and get a sense of whether or not there's any friction for them or what they're thinking about it. And then obviously, a variety of people afterwards and share their experience and what they were thinking and how they feel now.
And I think, like, it's not just about the Jack guy. Like,
No, certainly not.
I'm just saying this for you because one thing we've noticed is the mentality, the shift in the mind. Like, like Lars at our group, like, I'm not saying he's not, I just mean, like, there's so many people older who
Yeah,
you look
he's-
at them, and when you shift your mindset and change your life and still going after it, still making change, still motivated to create something,
Yeah,
it changes your outside.
definitely.
It changes your affect. And like, this is what we've learned. Like, we don't care about the wrinkles. There's
No.
something about the energy in the wise people that are continually changing and growing.
Yeah. I think that is really the crux of the matter, and probably where we've been circling around too, is that Just Wait Till You're 40 podcast is about looking into all the places that we have control, looking into all the bits of yourself that you can affect change,
Yeah.
and trying to get a sense of the perspective that we might have, and how do we approach finding maybe a new perspective if we're not in a place that we'd like to be.
Yes.
So it's about sharing experiences.
Yeah. Inspiring.
It's
others.
about inspiring others
If
and
you've been
sharing some
inspired-
solutions. Yeah.
Because my husband here, the man he is today, he has been inspired by so many beautiful people
Absolutely.
along the way. And I see you inspiring some of our new friends. I've seen the change in them. You're inspiring people through your inspiration of other
Received.
received.
Yeah.
And I think that's the beauty. And that's like your podcast, you said, like, I just need guys to know, like,
That's it.
you're not alone
First of all, yeah.
and you can shift based on
That's it.
a few things.
It just really takes one decision to shift
And knowing
a perspective.
that everyone is in the same boat and not talked
Absolutely.
about.
And that's
breaks
really
my
the other
heart.
side of it. Yeah, it isn't tremendously talked about, aside from, didactically, where they're like, do this, do this, do this. I don't necessarily want this to be about the do thises,
No.
although we'll cover them.
Yeah.
This is a show about sharing perspective, and I guess
And it'll change your
really,
life.
if you've managed to listen this long, if you're coming up on 40, I want to hear your perspective. I would love to know
Yeah.
what you're thinking about, and maybe what we can do heading into that number to affect some change before. And if you've passed that mark, golly, I want to hear your perspective. I really want I want this to be a conversation. I genuinely do. And I want to be able to find as many avenues that we can feed info into, because not every one of those is going to click for everybody, but something will for someone. And all it takes is one decision.
It does. I'm going to brag about you for a minute. When you say golly, you really are excited. And
Yeah, I don't say that very often.
when you say golly, he is like flaming hot of passion. The other thing, you guys, one thing
I don't
about
say golly when I'm flaming hot in passion.
I mean, like,
The
when
other way, though.
when how much he wants
Do
to
I?
help
Okay.
people. I'm going to get serious here for a second and
Okay.
brag about you. The way you've helped so many people, the way you've helped people before this idea, the way you've always helped people. He is a client first, friend first. He always puts the people in front of him, and he is the best listener in the world. And the amount of people I've watched come into his life, and he listens, and he has patience, and he thinks, and he feels, and he takes it all in. And watching you create this idea comes from a place of sensitivity for you entering this age, and even the age his mother died when he was young, like 45. It's always been the 40s that has been sensitive, and you're living them, and he feels so good. And I know there's so many people he knows, because he can relate and resonate with, that are going through it but don't feel like, he knows the people, even when you act confident on the outside, he knows, because he's been there, that there's something. And I know men do this a lot. They're like, oh yeah, a dad bod, or I've had some beers, or kids did this to me. Luke knows that he's been there, and he's so excited to truly just put this word out there that you're not alone. And I know he will accept emails, calls for free through this passion, to really let men know that, like, you're not alone. And also, it takes one shift in the mindset, and it's simple, but it just takes a person who can listen and be empathetic to it, without judgment. Because my God, my husband, through his life, he's had some ups and downs, but body, mind, lots of things, and I just am.
And most recently, spirit.
Yeah, and God and
Yeah.
spirit and whatever, just like feeling different in the mind and the heart, and putting that all together. So this is why I know, and like he just said, for anyone who's listened this far, please keep listening to this, because you're going to get some valuable information. He's not only just an empathetic, beautiful man and creator, but he's got the science to back it. And he forgot to mention that he has been in longevity supplements, everything he can possibly do to help men. And the businesses that he went into were funded by others in our time together. But if he could have done it his way, it would have been people helping people to normalize, like, it's okay to take this, it's okay to do this, but you got to do this. Like, Luke, I'm so freaking proud of you.
Thank you.
And the men that you treated, even in Canada, older guys, you always said this though, like guys who are fit, not even just successful in what people think success looks like, but the way they handled themselves. I remember you saying, I never want to be old in my mind. Like, case of the olds was this thing. You
Yeah.
always say they have the case of the olds.
Big time.
And, like, we just won't do that. And it comes from a sensitive place for you. And the way you've changed, transformed, you guys, like, we need to post some pictures of Luke, but it's not to make fun of you. It's to say, like, the transformation in your face, your energy, what you give out to the world is completely different. And I'm so proud of you. And I'm so excited for this venture for us.
Well, thank
And
you
you.
so much for saying all that. And
Yeah.
I can definitely say that, I'm a try everything once, and I will definitely
He
have
did.
given everything a go before I'm recommending it. So
Like Kundalini the other night.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
a whole other podcast.
that's going to be a fun story to tell. Yeah, I'll try anything once. And so I have, and I'm excited to share all the things. And I just can't wait to start the conversation, guys. That's it.
And one last question. What is it, do you think, on the whole, that men, like, what is your ultimate goal for these men? But more than, not just, that's too broad, but like, what do they, if you could put in one sentence, and I'm pretty sure you already said, but one sentence to men right now who are listening, who are 20s, 30s, even in your teens. I wish we got to know this when we were even in our 20s.
Yeah.
But what would you say to, and women, this could go for absolutely everyone right now, but what would you say to them? Like one
It's-
sentence.
Is that it's never too late to explore a change in perspective. And change is inevitable, as we know. And boy, to be able to do it consciously and to be able to be in control of that change going forward, to be able to lead toward a vision of yourself that inspires you, that's kind of everything I'm looking for. My personal definition of hell is to be a fixed version of me that will never change. And
What's our tattoo said? We were talking about what should we do in our podcast today. And he wanted to talk about, we both have this matching tattoo here that we got in Ibiza.
to embrace change, you have to invite chaos. And that's sort of how it goes. I think the biggest changes come when there's enough friction to force it.
And what does change and chaos bring us?
It brings us every opportunity to expand. And I think
Expansion and growth.
expansion and growth versus the contractile force maybe that 40 can feel like. And
That's it.
I think maybe that is actually the root
That's
concept,
it.
right?
And
Is
that's
that
what it can feel like, but it's not true.
it's an opportunity, 40 is an opportunity to evaluate what's going on.
And you're wise
and choose
now.
to expand using the wisdom, but still with all the spirit, all the joie de vivre. I mean, get a bunch of 40-year-old guys together on a golf course with nothing to do afterwards, and you're going to find out that they're all still kids.
Yeah.
None of us have grown up at all.
But you've learned so much.
But we have
But
that
now
wisdom.
you have that, and now you get to like choose where you want it. What you get it now,
That's it.
and you're never stuck in relationships, friendships, your situation, your anything. Like you get to show your expansion.
You said a key one there. You're never stuck.
Never.
There was
stuck.
a time where I told you I
Never.
was stuck. The reality of the situation is that it's an opportunity for expansion, and if you guys will come here with a bit of vulnerability and a willingness to be open to some new ideas, then hopefully we find a path to the best version of yourself.
The right people will come,
That's it.
and that's our motto: grow small, or start small, grow tall. But also the right people will come, and like you guys already know who've made it this far. I can't wait just to like have people helping people, because
That's
we're
it.
all just people. We all have to hit that age. But now we're blessed to hit this age.
That's it.
I'm proud of you, babe.
Thanks. I'm proud of you too. Ciao for now, team.
Bye bye.
Till it's next.